Hey, welcome back to another vlog. So glad you decided to click on this video and join us. If you clicked on the last video, you saw that Tracy and I were in Zion National Park to chef a men's immersion. We had a lot of fun there. And since then, we have headed north. We don't know where we're going, but Tracy, tell them where we're at and where we're headed.
Right now, we're up near a town called Manti at a campground, and we stayed here last night. And today we're heading towards Salt Lake City. We're gonna make it northeast of Salt Lake City and camp somewhere in the wilderness. Don't know how long we have to drive, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so a lot of this is improvisation. It's spontaneous. This is a journey of a lifetime. So we're going to share that with you because it's a lot of fun. And I think you're going to dig it. Also in this video, we want to share with you some of our thoughts and feelings about the riots and violence that are going on. Some people have chosen to go quiet and not say anything, but I know that we are inspired to keep creating. We are going to keep sharing the good vibes that we have from our heart. So that's what you can expect in this video. We're going to pack up and head out. So since leaving the camp, we've had a good time. Didn't capture it all on video, as is the nature of vlogging. Sometimes I just want to be without the camera. One of the things we did was a cold dip in a river, which was really nice. Got in there naked, got some sunshine, it was great. And then we stopped off and got some coffee, got iced Americano here. Another thing we've been doing while driving is listening to a podcast. The one that we were listening to just now was an interview with a woman named Candice Owens. And if you're unfamiliar with her, I'll put a link in the description where you can check her out for yourself. Right now, she's really big into being outspoken about the censorship and injustices going on when COVID was a big deal, and now that the riots are a big deal. There's just a lot of confusing, crazy shit going on, and she's really speaking out strongly about it. She wants to put the power back into the individual people instead of like this collective ideological mob mentality where everybody's pointing fingers, blaming and shaming. She sees a lot of corruption going on in corporations and politics and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a big fan of Candice Owens. She's a powerful woman, a black woman speaking out in times of trouble. And I really believe that we need more voices that have the courage to speak from the heart about the tyranny and injustice that is going on, at least in the United States. But there's a lot of subtle nuances about it that I think that we want to share with you. But before going any further in all of that, check out Candice Owens, link in the description. We're going to head into town and do a couple of errands, get some groceries, put some water in the tank of the trailer, and show you some of that. Well, it's the next day now. Fast forward a little bit. I decided not to vlog in town yesterday doing those errands because it was just loud and crazy, and I figured it'd be kind of boring actually, just shopping and like doing those mundane things. I kind of want to show a different aspect of our travels. So we had a great night last night. Finally found a camp high in the mountains after exploring quite a bit. So today we find ourselves in a mud pit. It's like Woodstock out here. It rained last night, and so my shoes are completely covered in mud. The tires are also covered in mud because I tried backing up the trailer to hitch it up and it's just slipping and sliding everywhere. So we're not sure if we're even going to be able to get out of here today, but we're going to show you whether or not that happens. And Tracy, what do you think the odds are?
I'm optimistic. We're gonna make it work.
Okay, so we're going to try and back this car up to the trailer and see whether or not that happens. Let's find out.
Oh no.
Well, this will be take one. Well, that went rather well. Let's see if we can actually just lower it right on there. Well, miracle of miracles, we were actually able to back the car up and get the hitch on there. So phase one successful. Now I guess we just got to see if we can slip and slide down this hill. Come on, come on. All right, success. Now we're on gravel. We should be able to make it down the hill now. We have witnesses to that enjoyment.
Jesus.
Now Tracy, if she can get out of here.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our thought when it started raining last night. We're like, oh no.
Whew, feeling grateful to have gotten out of there. So it's literally all downhill from here. Well, anyway, look at that. We are blessed to have made it safely back out onto the road. Tracy's just getting off some more dirt off the tires before we get going. So it was a beautiful spot to camp. Grateful to have been here. Enjoyed last night. Got a drone shot for you. Check it out. Well, it's been smooth sailing in the car since leaving the last camp, so we're pretty happy about that. Heading towards the next camp, somewhere north of Salt Lake City, Utah. But now we are going to talk about the riots going on right now. I know it's a really complex subject, but I'm not going to be silent about it. I've got some thoughts and feelings to share about my observations. They are incomplete. I just want to let you know that I don't have all the answers. I don't think I'm right. I don't think anyone else is wrong. I am seeking to be open-hearted, open-minded, to be inclusive of all people and ideas. And I've never seen other people as black or white, and I don't see things as right or left politically. But what I'm coming at you with right now is hopefully landing in your ears as balanced opinions from a man who seeks more harmony in this world. So in a similar way to COVID-19, which I think is a scam, this George Floyd killing incident that we saw video of online, and we heard the story from major media outlets, I actually think that that incident was a scam similar to COVID-19. I think it's a chess move being played by people we don't even know about, billionaires and other shadow people behind the curtain, vying for control and manipulating as many people as they can, especially people who align with their ideologies that are on the left. As a result of that, what we see is, oh, now it's all about race. And who says that? Because I know a lot of black people actually don't see that incident and others similar to it as a racially motivated incident. I didn't when I watched the video. Yeah, I thought it was deeply disturbing to see another human do that. But then I was like, this might have been staged in some way. And so I'm not saying that's what happened because I saw it on video and the media told me that's what happened. So God damn it, that's what happened. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm questioning what I saw and what I'm hearing. And I am sort of connecting dots to where it's like, there's more than meets the eye here. So like I said, I don't see things as black or white. I do believe that Black Lives Matter. I'm not going to get on my knees and apologize because I am not racist. I never saw anybody like that. I never treat anybody like that. But I think that all lives matter. And what we see on social media is a lot of like blaming and shaming. And if I say something like that, other people are going to come at me like I'm a racist, like they already have. And so they're quick to unfriend and just point fingers and argue and be really negative. It's just really disturbing how people devolve so rapidly, especially on social media. It's like thought police are coming at you hardcore. Thought police on social media. I've dealt with it a little bit. Tracy has. Is there anything you want to say about that?
I think it just breaks my heart that everybody has become so divided. I also have been attacked for sharing things or for not sharing things. So right now, even if you don't share anything or if you're quiet about it, then that makes you a bad person or that makes you a racist. And it's really disturbing how quickly this has devolved and how quickly it has divided us even more. I felt like during COVID, everybody was fighting, everybody was like on one side or the other, and now it seems like even worse now that we have this race war going on. So I don't really have any answers either. Like David said, like, we're open-hearted. We're just out here on the road, living our lives. Everything that we have, we're towing right behind us. And this whole experience was to be more open, not to close. And I feel society closing in and just becoming so convicted with their ideas and projecting them onto others.
Yeah, cool. So we are going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes here. But just a couple more things on this social media thing and the anger from people. It's like, I don't understand why these people who come at Tracy and me and others like us for questioning the mainstream narrative, like, why are they so angry? And why are they so quick to point a finger and blame and shame? And it's like free speech, you know, are we allowed to share our thoughts and they don't jive with yours? So all of a sudden people like that, they think they're right and we're wrong. So I think that that's highly suspect too, that people even have that going on in their brain. Because I don't think that about people like them. I don't think I'm right. And I don't think that they're wrong. And if anybody wants to build high quality relationships and engage in higher quality communication, the way to do it, as far as I can tell, is by genuinely seeking to understand another person's position. And then finally, on this point here, before going on to others, is the word privilege that gets tossed around a lot. I'm actually pretty sick of hearing it. We're all privileged. If you're watching this, if you have a smartphone or computer and you're posting on social media, pointing your finger at other people about they're privileged or I'm privileged, yes, I have privileges. I'm aware of it every day. I'm grateful for it. And also, if you are privileged too, so it's like, don't point the finger at me. We're all privileged to some degree. And that's one of the dark sides of this extreme left position, is that if you point and say to somebody just a notch above you that they're privileged and you want to take them down, is that what you want to do? You want people to be ashamed of having resources? Well, where does the line get drawn there? It's such a gray area of privilege. What do you want from me? Do you want me to just give up everything and be locked up in a cage with rats? Having no clothes and no food? Do you want me to starve and just fucking die? You know, it's like, is that what you want from privilege? Do you want us to get on our knees and apologize? There's no humanity in that. So I am just going to continue to be humble and grateful for what I have. I'm not going to point fingers at other people. And this whole thing about privilege, and especially white male privilege, hey, I see people of both sexes, in between sexes, all colors. We all have privileges. And, you know, I'm not lording it over anybody, and I don't see anyone else around me doing that. So, well, anyway, that's enough for now. I've got some more things I want to share with you tomorrow. It's getting a little late in the day. We're going to roll up to this campsite that we found online. Hopefully it's a good one. Maybe we'll show you around. So we're going over this mountain pass in Wyoming, and the snow is coming down hard. Loving it. This is a beautiful drive. Not sure where we're going right now exactly. Heading towards Jackson, but might camp, might get a motel room. I'm gonna check in with my navigator, get that figured out. So where are we going?
We're going to stay in a motel in Jackson.
Really?
You made me choose.
I don't think she can figure it out, so we're gonna keep driving and figure it out along the way. So the verdict is in. We decided on a place to camp. Tracy found a nice looking spot near Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So it's a beautiful drive. We're really enjoying this scenery. And it looks like we might be here for a couple of 2 or 3 days. So we're gonna get settled in tonight. I'm gonna show you around, and over the next day or two, I'm gonna finish up unpacking my thoughts and feelings about the riots, the protests, race issues, COVID, and more. So we're gonna get settled in tonight, have some dinner, have a look around, maybe show you a little bit tonight, and then we'll be finishing out this vlog over the next day or two. Okay, this is camp. So the rain coming down right now feels kind of like wet snow. So gonna be a cold night. Got our work cut out for us settling in. Gotta unpack a little bit, make some dinner, get some rest. So we'll be catching up with you tomorrow. So we continued camping and exploring. The wilderness is a glorious cathedral for contemplating life's mysteries, especially in contrast to the busy noise of dense urban environments. Over the days, we consumed some more riot-related content, and it's a complex situation, but I feel clear in my heart. Martin Luther King Jr. once pleaded for us to judge others on the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. Bruce Lee said that under the sun, we are all one family. John Coltrane prayed for there to be peace, love, and perfection among all creatures. These are wise words from old souls. May they rest in peace. So, it's been a couple of days since last recording for this vlog. It's been really complex as we've continued to tune into media coverage about the riots and the protests and Black Lives Matter and COVID and all of that stuff. I've got a lot of points to talk about, and again, anything that I say or Tracy says is not complete. It is incomplete. They are just fragments of the tapestry of this situation. And we don't have answers, but we have questions, and our hearts and minds are open to wonder. So I just kind of want to lay that out. Also, I am not racist, and you can call me racist, or anybody can call me whatever they want, but I know what's true for me, and Tracy does too. So one of the first things I want to start off in this segment of the video is that we know that the elections are coming up. This is a big moment, and it's no coincidence that right after coronavirus swept over the world, that all of a sudden, and people were being accused of being selfish and dangerous for going outside at that time, but then just a matter of days later, these riots and protests started, and they're actually supported by the left-leaning media outlets like CNN and all the rest. And so the elections are coming up. Black Lives Matter, Democrats, I just see all of these dots and I can connect them. And that's why I will say, as I did with COVID, that I believe that this whole Black Lives Matter movement is a political maneuver. Heartstrings are being pulled on. People are being manipulated all the time, everywhere. So what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I feel the same. It's just very curious that things happen to shift so quickly. We were being shamed for going out, and now we're being encouraged to go out, but only to protest. I've seen things that say you can't gather in groups of 10 or more unless it's for a protest. So it just, that's not science. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just gotten really out of hand.
Yeah, everything's just way out of hand. And again, just that point, elections are coming up, so I think you can fill in the gaps on that one. But I mean, before moving off elections real quick, I just got to say, there's a lot of hate against Trump right now. And I don't support Trump or Biden or anyone. I'm not left or right. I've always been non-political in all of this. But if we're looking at it politically, this whole Black Lives Matter thing is all about race. It's all about race, bringing racism back to the front of it and shoving it in our faces. It's totally a political movement. So people are leaning towards Biden, and it's like Biden is pretty much incompetent in every way. He's just a puppet for, the shadow government who really runs things behind the scenes. But, his comment, if you vote for Trump, you ain't black. It's just like, I gotta say, I think black people are just being manipulated in so many ways and being misled to be on the left, to vote Democratic, as if voting even worked. I don't think it does. So fuck Biden, and really fuck the whole political system right now. I ain't gonna burn shit down. I ain't gonna riot about it. I would much rather share openly and honestly and communicate constructively. And that's what I'm attempting to do in this video. Let's go on to the next point.
Yeah, we want to build healthy communities, not tear down cities and tear down neighborhoods. It just really feels like this is counterproductive. Everything that's happening right now is counterproductive to human evolution and us moving forward in a peaceful, harmonious way.
I also hear a lot of very destructive terms being thrown around right now, and I think we really have to be careful with our language. For a couple of examples, I hear people talking about genocide. Like right now, there's this talk that white people are straight up committing genocide on black people. And I know that's not true, actually. That is meant to pull on the heartstrings of people so they shake their fist and cause mayhem. Another one is black people are literally being hunted down by white people. And that, I have to say, that's just not true. But I just think we have to be careful with those terms that are coming from those extreme left mainstream media outlets being put into your mind to cause anger and lash out at people when we really shouldn't be fighting with each other anyway. I mean, if we really want to talk about what true genocide is and has been, more particularly, I would have to bring up, if we're going to talk about color, not the blacks, but the reds, the Native Americans, the First Nation people, whatever the proper term is for them. I just have so much respect for them because they were completely wiped out, and that's true genocide. I don't know what to do about it, but it hurts me even to think about. Just a couple weeks ago on our travels, when we were going through some reservations in Arizona and the whole Southwest area, I see some of them on the reservations as I have, and quarantine. They're being quarantined on their reservations. I mean, what are they doing? They're not integrated into the public like we are, even black people. They're like quarantined on their reservations. They have no voice. A lot of them are wasted by alcoholism, and it's just sad, the destruction that's been brought upon those beautiful, powerful, noble people. That's true genocide. I mean, let's talk about that. You know, we all came together for Occupy Wall Street back in the day when that happened. Nobody talks about it now, but we were all together, white people, black people, all colors.
Yeah. So this race war seems like it was really just brought out to divide us further, and for people encouraging like that white people need to apologize. Like, that really kind of triggers me, because it's not like I chose this. It's not like I've had slaves. It's not like I was like, oh, I really want to be white so that I can like be superior. You know, if anything, like, I'm also German. Am I supposed to apologize to Jewish people? Like, I didn't choose any of this. It's just really heartbreaking that this is what we've come to, and that I've been shamed and just encouraged to share and just jump on the movement, take the bait, and I just really don't feel like in my heart that this is anything I want to be involved with.
Yeah, when we started this vlog a few days ago, a lot has happened in just a few days, and that's why it's been difficult for me to start it up again. But as Tracy said, there's this thing of like apologizing. Like, we see people online like getting on their knees and straight up getting on their bellies on the ground with their hands behind their back. Mayors, law enforcement, citizens. Like, it's just crazy. You're not going to get me on my knees, and you're not even going to get me to apologize, because I didn't do anything, and I'm happy for that, and I won't do anything violent or negative to black people, no matter what kind of counter argument people want to bring to me.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thing of like defunding the police too, which is a political move. That's just crazy. I've seen so much hypocritical, insane information coming out over the last few days about this defund the police thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because the people in the riots are the ones that are really for defunding the police, and then numerous times I've seen videos where somebody comes at them with a gun or something and they say, call 911. Like, they want to call the police because they feel like the police can protect them, but yet they're at the riot to be against the police. So it's just like, I think that nobody really has their head. Some people do. Anyways, I think there's a lot of people that don't really fully grasp like what is going on. I don't, but I'm saying a lot of people that are in it also don't really know what they're for.
So generally, my perspective from what I see from a lot of people out there in the cities rioting and shaking their fists and spitting anger and hate online. Basically, to me, it looks like adolescent behavior or childish, because in the arc of a human lifespan, I think we could put it into three categories. There's wounded child, rebellious adolescent, functional adult. And then actually a fourth one, but beyond that would be elderhood. And so I see a lot of people acting like rebellious adolescents right now. And before recording this little segment here, Tracy said maybe don't do this one, but I want to anyway. For whatever it's worth, some of my biggest influences in life since my whole adult life have been black people, actually. Many musicians, Miles Davis being way up there. Racism back at that time, Miles Davis was brutally assaulted by police officers back then, and so much more. But the main one I want to bring up right now for this point is Maya Angelou. I have such deep respect for Maya Angelou. She was such a beautiful, powerful woman, even elder, I would say. And author as well. Tracy read one of her books. A few. I haven't read her books, but I've watched a lot of her content online. And, you know, she, as an elder, she would nurture you. And then from that empowered place, people could proceed responsibly back out there into society. And so I just wanted to make that point that I think some of the major influences that I had of people that lived through the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s were black. And I think that they would just go about things very differently right now. A lot of millennials these days are enraged, emotionally charged, and just basically acting like adolescents. So on that point, I know that I say this a lot and I'm happy to do so. I would just remind other people, maybe you as I do myself and Tracy every day, is to breathe anytime, just one breath or a lot, because it really helps to calm our nervous system, eliminate the fear and stress, and really get us back into a place of centeredness, which is, I think, true empowerment, connects us with the elements in the spirit, even if we're in major cities where everything is crazy. Just go like this. Allow yourself to receive that gift, the breath of life. I just think it's one of the most important things. That's my experience, and I think you would find that too. If you just, the shallow breathing, just open up, shut up, and go. Works wonders. Feels so good to do that. Because then we can think clearly again and feel clearly again. Because I think a lot of this stuff that's going on right now is like magic tricks. I said COVID was and is a masquerade. And I'm telling you, this George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, whole race thing, it's all a magic trick. It's sleight of hand. That's the thing about magic. One of the tricks they use is diversion. You look over here while they're pulling some stuff on the background over here. And that's just really what's going on, I believe. It's a magic trick, diversion, sleight of hand. And do you want to be fooled? I know I don't want to be fooled. And so that's the way I see things right now. So if there's one thing I'd really love for you to take from this video, besides all this confusion and stuff, is just the breath thing. Just give yourself that gift to breathe. Anywhere, anytime, just breathe. As we're having to do now, because the mosquitoes have gotten really bad around this lake. It's getting to be summer here. The sun's going down. There's some people over here. There's a few more points that I want to bring up for this video and this conversation though. But in order for us to do that, we're going to have to relocate, head back to our camp, and go to our trailer. So we're going to take you there now. Boom, back at camp. We're going to step inside this burrow to finish up this conversation. And as the sun goes down, the mosquitoes are coming out. But that is not a problem for us because we've got, courtesy of Tracy, this mosquito net, bug net, that will keep them out. So we're going to step inside there, finish up this conversation, and then we're going to have some dinner.
Yep.
Well, alrighty then.
So
Nice and safe from the mosquitoes in our trailer. Have a look around. This way. There's
Hi.
the navigator. Navigating her consciousness. I'm going to navigate you through a couple of quotes from a book now. It's called The Trigger by David Icke. It's about 9/11 and the uncovering the facts about what really happened behind that, who was really behind it. It wasn't the mainstream narrative, I can tell you that. So there's a couple of quotes in this book that I just started reading it, and I came across them. They're very pertinent to this complex conversation. So, first page from the intro, David Icke says, "Never has incessant perceptual programming been more obvious than today, with fascistic, communistic, screaming mobs driving the mass censorship of political correctness and insisting that you either agree with them or be intimidated and abused into silence by those who believe they are the progressive chosen, who have the right to edit, censor, and dictate the lives of everyone else." And another quote that I want to read to you has to do with what David Icke calls the problem reaction solution, or PRS. "Wars are instigated to transform society and create the excuse and opportunity to centralize global power through the problem reaction solution perception manipulation technique. Nations are manipulated into conflict and all sides funded until the status quo is destroyed. Defund the police. And another status quo, the hidden hands version, can replace it. The hidden hand is like the deep state, the shadow government, the people really running the show, not the politicians or the elected officials like Trump or Biden, those binary puppets. It goes way deeper than that, and it's actually really scary. I think that's why a lot of people dismiss it as conspiracy theory stuff, which we'll get into in another quote. And so he explains what PRS is in detail, and I'll read it for you real quick, just so you can be really clear, because problem reaction solution is a very simple yet devastating technique that is being used now and has been for many years. The PRS technique is so simple yet so devastating in the way it seizes and hijacks public perception and opens the collective mind to accept solutions to, quote, problems that have been covertly created by the very same people and networks promoting the said solutions. Such connections are hidden by the essential cover story concocted beforehand to pin the blame on others for the, quote, problem. A cover story sold to the public by a compliant and pitiful mainstream media that simply parrots without question what the authorities tell them about what happened and who was responsible. Now, if we had a mature, grown-up media, these PRS mega scams would not be possible because the cover story would be taken apart very quickly, but we don't have adults running the media. So it causes a huge problem because that trickle-down effect goes from the top people through the media to the manipulated citizens who are hearing that and then parroting it, and then that fear and hatred spreads like a virus. It's more contagious than COVID-19. So I do want to address the term conspiracy theories because it's a discrediting term that I hear just parroted around all the time for people maybe like me who are questioning the mainstream narrative, open to wondering about different ways that situations have gone down, like COVID, like George Floyd, like 9/11, and others. So here's a little known fact that you might like to know before you discredit me or other people. Check this quote out. The terms conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorists came into widespread use as a form of abuse and dismissal after the CIA contacted major media organizations in 1967 to urge them to use those labels to discredit anyone exposing the official story of the Kennedy assassination. Now, I don't know how much you know about the Kennedy assassination, but it seems pretty clear from a casual glance at it that magic bullet situation thing that happened, the official story is really ridiculous, and it's almost comical how easily the mass public can be sold on such lies like that. So I don't see things like Kennedy or 9/11 or even what's going on now as conspiracy theories. If we are willing to remain open in our hearts and minds and just question, we can start to connect dots and expose more truth and lies and get a better picture of the real story that's going on. And so there's one final quote I'm going to read to you from this book right now. The mentality of, I am right, and so anyone else saying something different must by definition be wrong, is a human disease now reaching epidemic proportions across global society. I mean, that's just simply put, but so true. That's what I see going on, and maybe you do too as well. Maybe Tracy does? She's nodding yes. I hear that from people. I mean, even stuff I've posted online, they're coming at me like they are right and I'm saying something different, so by definition, I'm wrong. And Tracy's got this too, where people are essentially saying that she's not educated enough, and it's just being reduced to like insane, like almost name calling. Well, it is name calling. I mean, racist. So shit's just crazy right now, and the content of this vlog that I'm trying to share with you obviously is incomplete. There's just so much more to say and even do about this. And I hear other people online who are taking silences and they're saying, I'm listening to the black people, and that's cool. You know, I mean, I'm listening too. That's something I'm really good at. I think Tracy would agree that I'm a good listener, and I am listening to people. And but I'm not going to go silent about this, because now is too critical of a time where I feel like I need to step up my game with all humility. All my mistakes and flaws and imperfections, I'm coming at you with that. My addictions, my weaknesses, my shortcomings, it's all there. I got nothing to hide, and I'm coming at you with that. So I love myself, and I wonder about a lot of these adolescents who are out there just destroying things, if they really love themselves. I don't think they do. I don't think anybody who can close their eyes, take a deep breath, and really tune into the silence inside of their soul and say, you know what? I do care about myself and love myself. I don't want to hurt other people. Then they wouldn't do that. So we got to, obviously, a huge problem going on in society right now. Things are really uncertain, and I don't know what's going to happen. I am optimistic, but I remain skeptical, and I'm going to move forward. What did the Buddhists say? The middle path. I'm going to take the middle path. I am not voting, because the voting is rigged, for Trump or Biden. I am not right or left, and I am not racist, and I don't know everything. And so I'm just sharing my perspectives with you. And before I end this vlog, I suppose another quote would be a good quote to digest for this situation. It's by, I believe he was an ancient Sufi poet, went by the name of Rumi. And it's an excerpt from one of his great poems. And it says, out beyond ideas of right and wrong doing, there's a field there, and I'll meet you there. I will stand strong in the face of uncertainty in these troubled times. I will not bow to the demands of others or take a knee to lies and hate. There is a chess game going on in society for a checkmate of control. But remember, at the end of the game, all of the pieces go back into the same box.